relationships, the way in which two or more people regard and behave toward each other. Hi, I'm Mercy Noah and welcome to Coach Me On. Today we will focus on building our professional relationships. So this video is a build to my previous video where I spoke about building your networks. And why is it important to talk about how there is a tie between both of these videos is because if you've put the focus and the effort and the work toward building that professional network, but you don't truly understand how to build the relationships within your network, it's really going to be all for nothing. And this is the one area that I find that most people really struggle with. Why? Because they look at the relationships as one and the same. I am having a relationship with everyone within my network in the same way. And that is not of benefit to you. There are different relationships that you must build and foster and focus on within your network to truly deliver great benefit and great support to your development and your growth. So because not everyone plays that same role within your network, it'll be key for us to focus on this discussion today on the different roles that people can play within that network as you build these relationships to truly bring you benefit in your development and your career progression. So let's look at what those are. So that first relationship that we need to focus on, and we're going to talk about it right now, is a mentor. And mentors are critical for your continued growth and development and for them to know exactly the role that they will be playing. So take a step back and think about, what do I want to develop and what do I want to grow in? What is that area of opportunity that I have? Is it potentially managing change? Is it leading a team? Is it presentation skills? And then identify whom within your network has really done that well. Maybe they struggled with it and have really developed that skill and today they master it. And identify who that person is and reach out to them. Have a conversation and let them know, I admire the way that you do this one thing. It's an area of opportunity for me, and I would love for you to be my mentor in this space. I want to learn from you. What this does, which is so beautiful, it tells that mentor, one, you value them. Two, you recognize what they are great in. Three, they have absolute clarity from you on what it is that they're going to help you with. They have role clarity. They know exactly what their focus will be. And when you and that mentor are connecting, they know exactly what to talk about, rather than what I've seen happen so often. A person has a conversation with that mentor and what do we talk about? Because we haven't clarified exactly the role that that mentor is going to play. And the beauty is that when that mentor has clarity of what they're going to be bringing to you, they understand their purpose and the value that they're going to have in your career, in your growth, and in your development. And what they will then do is they open those doors for them to share the knowledge of an area that they are experts in and that they master. They let you observe them. They let you learn from them. They let you go with them to learn within the environment that they are performing that mastery skill in. And also, they do not judge you, because they know that they are there to help you grow and for you to develop, and therefore there is no judgment. That's why a mentor usually and typically are never your boss, because they do have an expectation of you and your performance. So you want it to be that individual that's going to be objectively helping you develop and grow a skill in a particular area. They provide great feedback as a result of that, because they don't have any hidden agenda. They don't expect anything from you other than you taking their learning as a mentor and growing. They give you advice, they help you navigate your career, and someone that is wonderful for you to talk to as you are looking at your progression and potentially even a change in career, a change in approach. The mentor will play that role. And here is something that is personal to me, but hopefully you find value and it resonates with you. And that is, look to evolve and change your mentor about every 2 years. We're evolving as we're learning these skills, and therefore we want our mentors to evolve as well. There is no one mentor that is excellent and an expert in everything. And as you are evolving on the areas that you want to grow, that are opportunities for you, so should your mentor. So consider, again, changing your mentor every 2 years, but ensure that you do have a mentor or multiple mentors as you're building the relationships within your network. Let's look at number 2. Advocates. The next group of folks that you need to build relationships with and identify who they are within your network. Now, advocates are different from your mentors because these are actually lifelong relationships. These are those folks that are your champions, that they represent you and your story when you are not in the room. They are seated at the table talking about you and promoting you and pushing your career and your strengths in front of an organization. So critical for you to have advocates. Not just one, but hopefully multiple. But these relationships, the importance of the relationship for an advocate is that they absolutely need to be fostered. They need to be cared for over time. That's why they're usually lifelong relationships. Why? Because they do require trust. And trust just doesn't happen from one day to another. You are sharing your weaknesses, you're sharing your strengths, you're sharing your story, you're sharing your challenges, you're sharing what you're experiencing, what you're learning, what you're not, what you're struggling with, what you're doing well. You're giving them and feeding them over time all of this great information about you so that they can share your story. Frankly, your advocates not only are your champions and those whom represent you, but they are your storyteller. And in order for them to be able to do that on your behalf, you absolutely need to have that level of trust and transparency so that you feel comfortable sharing with them all of these things about you so that they can properly tell your story. So if there's one thing that I can leave you with as you think of what relationships am I building and how am I identifying those relationships that are either my mentors or my advocates, is that you must have advocates. So make sure that you focus on who are the best people that truly have the right role and are seated at the table to serve as your advocate. So let's move to number 3, and that is general relationships. And here is where a lot of folks spend the majority of their time because they don't know how to differentiate what are those roles that people within my network will play as I build my relationships with them. Now, relationships in general are critical as we interact with the world around us, and as human beings, we need to be connecting with folks, and that's fantastic. We need to get out there, we need to absolutely interact and connect, but let's make sure that we have a sense of purpose when we are connecting in general with individuals. So social media, important that you have a presence. Think about that. Hey, I'm the first one that was intimidated about social media and thought, I don't need that. That's not a platform for me, but it's a great way to connect with people and connect people from everywhere. So that diversity of experience, of background, of thought, make sure that you are finding those folks that bring that as you're building general relationships with people so that it challenges you in different ways and that you're just not connecting with people that are just like you. One thing that I do want to make sure that I am mentioning, and that is, if you think about the video on building your network, we talked about rejection. We hate it. But this is a great way, as we're building general relationships with others, that we get comfortable with rejection. Because not everyone is going to want to form a relationship with us, and that's okay. If I need to connect with 88 folks only in order to find those 2 that are going to get me to the 90 that will be amazing connections for me, that is perfectly fine. Let's connect with the 88. Let's get comfortable with rejection, but let's get out there and make sure that we are trying to find and build those relationships that are going to be impactful, that are going to have a purpose for us. And then stay very connected and in tune with the pulse of what those relationships might need. What do I mean by that? Not every relationship needs the same thing. Some relationships are going to be high nurturing relationships that you need to be connecting and reaching out and making sure that you're staying close with those individuals, and others will not. They will require more of the small connect, the hi, how are you doing, versus those that I need to actually sit down live with you and grab a cup of coffee. So it's important that you understand where all of those folks are as you're building those relationships so that you are connecting in the best way possible. Because relationships should not stay stagnant. If they're stagnant, you're not building a relationship. And then finally, there has to be some sort of shared value between you and the relationship that you're building. Do you have values that are in common? What do you admire of the individual? Maybe something that they achieved, that they really worked hard on, that you now can learn from them and build off of that relationship that you're establishing with the individual. But we don't need to just run amok with relationships with everyone. Let's make sure that they have a purpose. So let's make sure that the relationships that we are building in the space of our career, in the space of our professional realm, that they are intentional and that we are putting forward the work and the effort that they take, and they will. I don't want you to walk away thinking this is going to be easy, but great things are never easy. They take our commitment and they take our time, and the relationships that we build absolutely require that. They're not going to happen on their own. We must be an active participant, but I will guarantee you that the positive energy that you will get, the learning that you will get, the development will certainly far outweigh the effort that it takes to build these lifelong relationships. And the reward will be phenomenal, both for you and those individuals that you are building those relationships with and that you are connecting with. I know you will benefit from it. So thank you again for joining me for this session, and I do hope that you found value in this topic. Please remember to leave your comments, ask questions or suggestions, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get notifications on upcoming videos. And once again, thank you so much for letting me coach you today on Coach Me On. See you soon.